All the information should be correct. Hopefully I spelled
Not
it
seeing... okay. It just flickered, and I think it's gotten tired of showing me ads.
Sorry about that, all guys. Technology has not been my friend today. So we've had mostly votes for more MSQ. Any other votes want to come in? Or are we just kind of all just rolling with it?
Can I vote for Fishy? F is for Fishy. That's good enough for me. Okay. Guys, you need to learn a thing or two about how you do this.
There. Okay, looks like more story.
Fishy starts with F.
Okay, that means I need my regular HUD back. Or maybe there. And I need to unhide. That could stay hidden. That could stay hidden. What is this one? Oh, yeah, that could stay hidden.
You were here, and you were you, and who are you?
Okay.
Okay. Guys, you really need to learn how to do this.
Huh?
Oh, the new medical cards for the new plan for the new business for next year came in. And it's like impossible to punch out the cards.
Oh dear.
I can't say that this new medical plan is off to a good start.
You're doing this as Red Mage?
Probably not.
Oh, and sorry, it's raining.
In that case, I'm definitely doing this as Bard. It has the hat.
Hats is important. Okay. Grahatia?
Be under no misapprehension. The extent of the High Priest tempering is like to far exceed that of Gabu.
Yeah, I don't know if we can undo it.
Then his was a relatively mild case. Milder indeed the majority of those we wish to save. The coming mission will be a truer test of our treatment.
Alpha, no?
I have no doubt that Alice will succeed with the cure, but if we can but afford her the time.
Alice.
And my little theory yesterday, did I say that on air or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Alphano wasn't lying when he said I'd be defenseless, so I'm counting on you to give me the time I need.
Our sole purpose will be to keep you out of harm's way, so leave that to us and focus on your own task. Indeed, if you should want for Aether, you need only say the word.
You know they're gonna have a boatload of crystals.
Yeah.
Gabu, did you follow us here?
Something important that I want to say to the High Priest. Express, state, say. Please let me come with you. Please. I cannot do that accent.
I'm sorry, but it's too dangerous. I need you to promise me that you'll stay here where it's safe, all right? My apologies for the wait. It took time, but we have secured our audience. All unfolded as expected, and the mention of my returning the crystals in person, the kobolds suddenly remembered how keen they were to be reconciled. And so, in the glorious spirit of cooperation, we are to be received by the Patriarch Zada of the Second Order, who awaits our pleasure in the navel. If you are ready, let us proceed to the Umgirl mines at once. I'm debating whether we need to split or not because they'll put us in a duty or not.
We'll find out when we get there. And hopefully they won't make us wade halfway through a cutscene or something before telling us. Hopefully. They've gotten
nice
better
to
about
have
it
once.
generally, but they still fumble that one on occasion lately.
Is it sad that I actually remember this, Warren?
Well, considering the amount of
Oh yeah, look at Meryl
farming we
Webb.
did here recently. Yeah,
First
but
off,
they're telling us this before we get halfway through a cutscene, so thank
Alpha
you
no?
guys. Patriarch Zada, if the name sounds familiar, it is because he is the one who presided over the deaths of Gabu's parents.
Right.
I tried to reach out to him that day, only for my pleas to fall upon deaf ears. But this day will be different. We will reach out together, all of us, and we will take peace in our grasp.
Graha?
Alice can be forgiven a certain amount of recklessness, but if she goes so far as to contemplate sacrificing herself, I will remind her how she responded when I thought to do the same.
Very good.
Not that we will let it come to that, of course. Ready when you are, my friend.
Alice, eh? There's nothing more to say. I'm going to do this for Gabu and Tesleen and any whom ever dreamt of a better future. Isenhar?
The Conqueror's chain stands ready, but weaken your foes and it will see them subdued.
Do I want to do this as tank or something else?
Shouldn't you be doing this as Dragoon?
Okay, fine. Dragoon it is.
Come on, it's your main class still.
Yeah, Dragoon for life. Whenever I can play it. This Aetheryte will bear us to our quarry. Should he summon Titan, as I anticipate, we will have the ceremony and restrain him. At this, all hells would break loose, and we'll need to have an army of kobolds to entertain till Alice's work is done. Just remember, none must die. We weaken them, and then let Elzenhard do the rest.
They're not going to make it simple, are they?
No. It is time. Stay close, my friends. I spy calmer waters beyond these squall. Dun dun dun.
The great ship Vilbrand. Yeah, this looks familiar.
And look, more sacrifices. Ugh.
Greetings, Patriarch. I am Merlwib Lufisvin, Admiral of Limsa Laminsa. I come before you to offer my sincerest apologies for the many wrongs committed by my people against you and yours.
You were foolish to come here. Stupid, unwise, foolish. The Great Father shall have your souls for your folly.
Aye, just as we thought.
Now, Alize! Quickly!
You don't need to tell me!
Let none pass. We must grant her as much time as we can.
I'm beginning the incantation.
The girl seeks to harm the Patriarch with vile magics. Kill her! Slaughter! Slay! Kill!
Oh boy, that's an AoE, Admiral! Yes, it's ready! Go, Angelo!
I am for the chain.
I think I'm ahead of you. Yikes!
Sure use this. Now say, are you alright? This is temporary anesthesia. I can't finish the job. For one person's ether alone is not enough.
Here you are, Alize.
Okay, round 2 starting for me for detempering.
I need more ether!
Bombs.
Just a little more!
Ooh.
jeez! Is he... Oh, no. No, 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 no.
Yeah, this is bad. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Oh.
Worked. And of course, there's another round.
Time to drink from the fire hose, I'll say.
Okay, that worked. Wow. Ten stack of ethereal depletion.
Yes, this will do. Here I go.
I'm ahead of you, just FYI.
I kind of figured.
Go, Angela.
Did it work? What?
What is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry, but they died by your hand. You sacrificed them to summon Titan.
Why would I do such a thing?
Would that there were a cure for the victims of the Tempered.
Gabu! What are you doing here?
Patriarch, please listen to me. Hear, heed, listen. The Great Father we have been summoning is false. He only hurts us and those we love. For a long time, his voice filled my mind. It told me to do terrible things. Awful, unspeakable, terrible things. But I didn't give in to it, and you mustn't either. There's been too much pain already, so please, end the suffering.
What have I done?
We share this child's desire, Patriarch. An end to summoning, for it spells naught but misery for both our peoples. For many long years, man and kobold have feuded over territory, pillaging and perishing for the earth beneath our feet. It may be said that we fought to survive, but what we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on. I would see us set aside the past and work together for peace.
It was wrong of me to hurt my own in the name of the Great Father. Sinful, evil, wrong. But that doesn't mean there can be peace between us. Men cannot be trusted. The bounty of the land was to be ours, and yours the bounty of the sea. But you broke the pact. Violated, breached, broke. Unready as we were, what choice had we but to call upon the Divine to rid ourselves of your tyranny?
None, and I do not blame you for it. In violation of the spirit, if not the letter, of the pact, we took your lands for our own. The fault lies wholly with us. On behalf of all Leminsons, I offer you my humblest apology. I pray you'll find it in your heart to accept it. Yet I know an apology alone will not serve to make things right. So, we will revise the pact to leave no room for doubt. And any who violate it shall face justice, swift and certain.
No, we won't be fooled. Not again.
Please, hear me to the end. Fleeting though it was, there was a time when man and kobold abided together in harmony, in cooperation. In those days, your people shared the secrets of smelting. Knowledge which allowed Limsa Leminsa to thrive. Much of what we have, we owe to the kobolds. And so, for the good of all who dwell on this isle, I wish to make you an offer. We will bear your people's wares to every corner of the world and trade them in your stead. In return, we will bring you the bounty, not only of the sea, but lands both near and far. Whatever you desire, the Navigator as my witness, you shall have it. There will be no more man and beastmen, just the crew of the great ship that is Vilbrand. And together, we will share in the wealth of the world, if you'll only accept our hand in friendship.
We want to believe you. We truly do. But we believed you before and you betrayed us. Fooled, deceived, betrayed us.
There are bad men, it's true. But there are also good ones. And the ones before you are the best of them. They were always kind to me. Caring, nice, kind, and I trust them with my life.
Before I became Admiral, I was a pirate. I stole, I fought, I stained the sea red with blood. Such is my past, and I dare not forget it, however much I might want to. That is death penalty. The pistol I used to pass judgment on my own sire when he fell thrall to Leviathan and betrayed his comrades. It's loaded. If you were to point it at my head and pull the trigger, I would most assuredly die. Though it isn't much, my life is the single most valuable thing I possess. If it will suffice to atone for past wrongs, take it. A single bullet to annul the old pact, and my blood to write it anew. What comes after, I entrust to this man, my second in command. I know that he will do his utmost for the happiness of all who call Vilbrand home.
I do not trust you. Not yet. But Gabu does. And I will trust him.
Yeah, I agree, Alphino.
We want you to know that we respect your faith. There's nothing wrong with giving thanks to the land which sustains you. But summoning is different. Should you hear of anyone who would attempt it, we ask that you appeal to their better judgment, or failing that, seek our aid. We're always ready to help.
Many and more of my brethren are yet in thrall to the Great Father, just as I was. If you could free them too, I would be grateful. Appreciative, thankful, grateful.
Tis we who should be grateful, Patriarch. I thank you for affording us this chance.
Well then. That was a story chunk. Yeah, Foxfire. All the feels. Yeah. But that's Shadowbringer writing for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it, where's the Kleenex box?
I think Alphino has it.
Gaboo.
I'm so glad we could sway the Patriarch. Convince, persuade, sway. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you.
I'll say. The treatment may have restored the Patriarch to his senses, but it was all the Admiral and Gaboo's words that touched his heart. This moment belongs to all of us, Thayrin, Rylea. We couldn't have done it without each other.
And a box of Kleenex.
Yes. Alphino?
It has taken a long time, but the dream of lasting peace with the kobolds may soon become a reality. And it is all thanks to Alice.
Graha?
In two separate worlds, the seeds were sown, and through the determination of two indomitable women, they have quickened into this historic moment. I feel honored to have been present to see it.
Elzahar?
Admiral seems hell-bent on worrying me to death, but I suppose the ends justify the means. Well fought, my friend. Well fought.
You almost had us worried there too, Mr. I'm gonna take all the bombs. I know you're a tank, but still. Holy moly. Roll up. 'Twould seem we have found a way forward with the kobolds. Next, we will help the Second Order to free them from their tempered brethren from the thraldoms. Theirs is far from the only order, of course. It will take no small amount of time and effort to reach the rest. But reach them we will, however long it takes. I would say that I was in your debt, but that has long since been true. So, instead, I will say thank you for helping us to plot a new course not only for Limbs of Lumenza, but all of Eorzea. Checking with Merlweb again. Savor the moment, lad, lass. Your next task can await. Those are hard.
See. Yeah. Judging by the complaints my back is making, I may have overreached myself. The ravages of old age.
The fact that you're just having like a minor ping after taking how many bombs to the face? Dude.
Yeah.
We have an EX we'd love you to tank for.
Yeah, several.
Gabu.
I could befriend you all, then surely other kobolds can befriend men too. And I'll do everything I can to help them. Facilitate, assist, help.
Atlas, eh? Gabu is wise beyond his years. It's all very well leaders singing peace treaties, but it falls to individuals to bridge the gap. Raha?
I dare say we could all do with a rest. Alice not least of all, given the amount of aether she's been expending of late.
Alfredo?
Futures rewritten.
Yeah.
Alphina's faces a picture equal parts jubilation and relief.
Right. Let's return to the Rising Stones. Admiral, something strange is afoot at the floating city.
Oh?
Breathe, man. What is it?
I think it's best you see for yourself. Please, come with me. What in the world is that?
Oh.
A tower. You can see it too, then? I feared I was losing my wits. One moment I was patrolling as usual, and the next it was just there.
Yeah, this seems about appropriate.
Yes? This is she. I am. I'm looking at it. What? Understood.
Oh dear.
Send the Elder Seed Seer my regards.
Yikes!
The communications officer. It seems this isn't the only tower. They've sprung up all across Eorzea.
Wait, what? And how did this go completely unnoticed until now?
Nothing more is known.
They just
Only that
appeared.
they appear to be of Garlean construction. Our allies on the Alamegan front are on highest alert. Forgive my directness, but would you join them? They may well need the help.
Of course, Admiral. We shall make all haste.
My thanks. I will return to Limsa to weigh our response. Look for Commander Hext when you arrive in Alamigo, and may the Navigator speed you on your way.
They claim that's Garlean.
Yeah, my first instinct was to say Mahaki, but admittedly there's not nearly enough coffins.
Yeah, Mahaki. The Mahakis do have a coffin. And of course it's socked in with fog. How could we have seen it? Thanks.
Don't worry, miss. I'll keep watch over the tower. Your place is in Alamigo.
How can you see the tower through all the fog?
And of course, this is the zone boundary, so we can't go flying closer to it.
No, and it's off in a direction that is not covered by any of the other maps.
Nope.
Dang nabbit!
See.
I swear
Actually, hold on a moment.
if this actually shows up in Leap of Faith.
Yeah, this really is off in the middle of nowhere we've seen.
Yeah. Okay. So we need
Something
to head...
deep.
Yeah.
If you look at the map for La Noscea as a whole, you can faintly see like a ship and then a inscription that says something deep.
Indigo Deep. That's one of the sea names.
Right. So it's out in the Indigo Deep somewhere.
Now, I will note, if you zoom in a little, slightly north of where we are on the map, the continental map, there's a triangle. That's usually a city-state flag.
Where? Oh, you mean the rectangle?
Yeah, it's red and gold. Actually, no. We'll want to go to the Alamegan Quarter. My bad. Started porting to the wrong place.
Yeah.
I mean, Belger's Reach is close, but not that close.
And thank you, Cold Silver. And you thought this was a defining moment, but wait, there's more.
Oh, you knew trouble was... Things were going too smoothly. I mean, we were tying up a lot of loose ends. We were starting to see a path forward to peace. You know something has to come along and mess it up.
And who better than the Gurlians?
Yeah, I know, Ursa. We're going real far.
Cue up the adventure music while we visit our best friend.
Yeah. I don't want to visit our best friend. Grahatia.
Though it isn't visible from here, the locals report that a tower-like structure has appeared to the south. And of course, it's fogged in here, too.
Yes. Yes, it is. Alice? Gabu? Don't worry. He's with our Maelstrom friends. Meaning we're free to deal with the last problem to fall uninvited into our laps.
You were the one who was bored. Careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
It appears to be business as usual inside the city. At least we'll be able to tell us if there have been any developments without. Speaking of...
Lise?
It's cine time.
Dun dun dun.
Thank you for coming so soon. I'll send for Commander Aldin at once, and we can decide what to do about these infernal towers.
Roger presents!
Oh.
It can't be.
The palace! After them!
No,
Some days-
it's cine as in cinematic, not sinning as in, yeah.
Some days don't you just wish you had a good AA battery?
You're here. Good.
And another voice actor change.
Yeah. I don't think I like that smile.
Oh gods.
Well, well, well! To be received by such an illustrious cast! Why? Even the hero of the piece is here! I feel quite starstruck.
I thought we'd kill him.
Is that... Asahi?
His body, more like. You don't fool us.
Oh! You saw straight through it! Anyone would think you dealt with Asians before. Permit me to introduce myself. I am Fandango, and may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make
I
your
remember right,
acquaintance.
we got to see in a previous one him getting Asianed.
No, but, we pretty much left his body for dead in the middle of a castrum. It was only a matter of time.
What do you want?
Yeah. Every Asian has a game. What's yours?
My.
Scrabble?
Straight to business, is it? Suit yourself. It is my intention to recreate the final days. To which end I have distributed a collection of rather ingenious devices, or towers, which will, in time, give rise to the grandest of spectacles.
Oh, great. He's a nihilist. It was only a matter of time.
The final days? But it was the Asians who labored to prevent them. You're quite right. Though I would expect no less from one responsible for eliminating my unsundered colleagues. Honestly, the three of them were obsessed with restoring the one true world. As a sovereign individual, however, I never had much interest in such things. I mean, why bother when you're just another sundered minion? Admittedly, Elidibus was not convinced by that argument, but thanks to you, I'm finally free of his incessant nagging. Free to use my powers as I see fit, to fulfill my heart's desire. And my heart's
is me
desire
and my
is
unimpressed
to lay
face.
this half-broken world to waste, leaving nary a fleck of dust behind.
What? Why would you want such a thing?
He's sounding more
Because
like
I
Lord
want wretched
Xenos.
creatures who ask such meaningless questions to die! You! And you! And you! I want you all to die! And I want to die too! Oh, yes! I want to die and take everyone with me in a paroxysm of pain and suffering! I'm different, you see, from the ancients who clung to dear life, and from you. So don't bother trying to reason with me. You will find I have no reason, or creed, or any such tripe.
Just monologue.
I just want to destroy the world. But please do resist with all your might. It will add to my enjoyment. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes peeled, for the curtains have risen on the spectacle to end all spectacles. We, the Telophoroi, shall be your performers, and this very star our stage. But I nearly forgot. I have a message for you. My esteemed patron, Lord Xenos, eagerly awaits you at the heart of the chaos. While I wish only to destroy the world, he exists solely to relive a certain, transcendent moment with you. And it is for that reason he would reduce all to ash. Pray see to it his dreams do not go unfulfilled. For if you should disappoint him, my trusty companion here, whom I've dubbed Lunar Bahamut, will burn your cities and everyone in them.
Joyful! Now we don't have just one absolute utter psychopath. We have two.
Yeah, and we had actually seen him with Xenos at the end
Yes,
of
yes,
the
we
previous.
have. Well, as players, we have. Our characters, however, this is their first meeting. Let's not forget the divide between player knowledge and character knowledge. With friends like these.
With friends like these, we have too many enemies.
Knew things were going too well.
Cold served. And I thought I'd never miss Emmett's theatrics. He was tolerable.
Emmett made me cry. The rat bastard.
What part could these towers feasibly play in the Telephoroid's plans, do you think? I, for one, am at a loss. For now, we should bear word of these developments to the others. I only hope Thancred and Urianger are safe.
Agreed. Alpha, no?
Though our objectives were different, I could understand why Elidibus and his fellows acted as they did. But Vandaniel? It will take me some time to make sense of it all, if indeed there is any sense to be found.
Alisei? Oh, you're alright, Thayrin? Rylea? The rest of us are fine, if a little singed. That dragon let us off lightly. Honestly, though, only a madman would choose the name Lunar Bahamut, which is just about sums up Fandaniel, I suppose.
Pretty much.
Raban?
Our scouts report that the Ascian and his dragon have left Garabania. It seems this was purely a social visit.
Lise? Thank goodness everyone's safe. We managed to put out the fire, though not quickly enough to save the garden. Oh dear. Raban, can I leave it to you to send word to the Alliance? I'm going to take a unit and investigate the tower. We need to find out what it's for. I'll go with you.
No, you won't. You'll rest. From what Merlib tells me, you're due some time off duty. Should we learn anything about the tower, we'll be sure to share it with you. Until then, I want you to rest.
Very well, but if you need our help, don't hesitate. And take care. Both of you. So it looks like it's us and Lise. Lise?
Next, we're going to the Raising Stones, but yeah.
So you really did it. You found a cure for the tempering. Oh, it makes me want to do something heroic right now. Speaking of which, I'd better get ready to set out for the tower. Raban?
If an Ascian is on the prowl, it will not be long before we call on you and yours again. Rest now while you still can. Yeah.
And back to the stones?
Well, it is a little after 11.
Yeah, but this also might wrap it up.
Will it?
And you have tomes to exchange.
Yeah. Just about there. Okay.
I had a feeling, but and I didn't think Fandaniel could get any worse, but he did.
You shouldn't have given him a challenge. Okay, up the hill for the moment.
Take care of your tombstones.
Before I forget it again. So who do I want?
You'll want Ariana over here. And Tombstones of Phantasmagoria Exchange.
Okay, so turning Phantasmagoria into Allegory, yeah, at a rate of about 1 to 4. Okay. Now that that little bit of accounting is taken care of,
Yep, and there's the gaggle of everyone.
Real is still out.
That's right.
Check Efime first. Nope, that's the same. Check this set in the back.
Checking Aenor.
Yeah, this is looking like it hasn't changed.
Yeah, that has not changed. It might change after we finish this, but...
Yep. Okay, to the main group.
Graha?
So my new, or rather old, by which I mean young, though this body has a good deal more stamina than the one I wore out in the first, I confess I've been looking forward to a moment's respite. We've had a busy few days, have we not?
LSA? Y'shtola returned just before us. It seems she knows about the towers, too. Alfie?
Ah, how good it feels to come home to the Rising Stones. It's here my heart feels most at peace, and my mind the clearest.
Y'shtola? It would seem you have had quite an eventful time in my absence. But I am fully rested now, and ready for more.
Well, guess what? There's a big ol' heaping serving of more out there.
Totaro. Welcome back, Thayrin, Rylea. Make yourselves comfortable, and let me know if I can get you anything. Kryl. Ah, you're back too. Good. We've received the reports from the Alliance. Since we are all here, perhaps those who bore witness to the events in Alamiga could treat the rest of us to a first-hand account?
City later?
No sooner do we overcome one problem than another appears. It would all seem tediously predictable if not for the endless variety of our foes. This Fandaniel sounds even more unhinged than his patron.
Yes. Unhinged, perhaps, but no fool. For all his pantomimes and theatrics, he gave away little about his plot. We know only that he intends to recreate the final days, and that the towers will somehow facilitate this.
He also called his dragon Lunar Bahamut. Let's not forget that little detail. And the creature certainly did resemble the Elder Primal.
That may be, but the fact that it answered to Fandaniel would suggest they are not one and the same entity. I think it more probable that it is some manner of simulacrum born of Ascian magics. Whatever it is, for now we can but work closely with the Alliance and remain vigilant. I believe that concludes our news. What of yours, Yustola?
I've been to see the Sultana. Knowing how quick the immortal flames are to dispose of their tempered, I judged it best to provide them with a cure first. As soon as I had sufficiently recovered, I traveled to Ul'dah and delivered the porxies to Her Grace, along with the detailed instructions on their use. Yet my visit chanced to coincide with the arrival of some troubling tidings. The Immortal Frames have been on the cusp of agreeing to a truce with the Amalja when negotiations abruptly collapsed. The Amalja claim that a number of their kin have been abducted and that men are responsible. Not as known of the predators as of yet, but as the Immortal Flames went about investigating the abductions, they came upon one of Fandandel's towers. On the subject of the towers, you may be interested to learn they are not exclusively an Eorzean phenomenon. According to the Alliance, they have been seen as far afield as Yanzia.
Then it would seem reasonable to assume they are everywhere. We've simply not found them. Boy, I have to wonder what people on the other side of the world and the continents we haven't heard anything about are thinking of this.
Well, as you said yourself, we can do little for now save remain vigilant. And since we are dealing with a dragon, ostensibly at least, I believe it would behoove us to enlist the aid of the authority on such foes. Estinian!
Estinian? Now, just a moment. If he could be persuaded to lend us his lance, I would be the first to welcome it. But the truth is, we will struggle even to find him.
You let me and Crow worry about that. We'll sniff him out no matter where he's hiding.
Oh dear.
If indeed he is hiding. We have ways of locating him regardless, so if there are no objections, we shall depart at once. Oh,
Look out, Estinian. The Lalafell Brigade is after you.
Well, rather than sitting around, I think I might go to each city-state and educate them on the uses of porxies.
They would doubtless appreciate it. But might you consider taking a moment to rest before leaving? You would be fresher for the tasks ahead. Well, my friend, our moment of triumph did not last long.
It never does.
'Twas ever the way, the world often needs saving. It's kind of like being the maid. Didn't I just clean up in here?
Yes, yes!
And save it we shall. I, for one, do not intend to allow a nihilistic madman to take us all to the grave with him. Not when the future holds such promise. Not when you just spent 100 years saving the world last time. Nay, I will do all in my power to protect those whom I hold dear, just as you have always done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get ready for a half hour of afterward.
The scouts should have been back by now. I'm gonna go and find them.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
No.
No. No, no. He's not moving right.
Glory be. Glory be to Golimond!
Oh, no. Oh, I think I know what they're doing now.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
The piles have been driven as planned, and the first of the beasts has roared to life. Moreover, I am pleased to report that preparations are well underway for the rest. Ere long, chaos shall reign over all the land, as befits the final days.
Call it what you will, so long as my friend returns to me, fangs bared and claws sharpened. I care not.
Of course, my lord. By strange coincidence, your dear friend chanced to be present when I made my declaration. I took the liberty of informing him that you await his coming, though I confess I may have singed him a little in the process.
And why do you tell me this? Are you in such a hurry to die?
Ah, my apologies. I must guard my tongue lest it be the end of me. Though, there is something to be said for such a glorious death. Better to fall to one who has it all than falter before an inferior. Huh. I shall keep it in mind as a contingency. For now, however, I shall proceed with the plan. My lord.
I must find myself a new weapon. One worthy of our long-awaited reunion.
Pen and sword. Title Writer of Histories. Yeah. Yeah.
Alphino?
In the face of this new draconic threat, we would indeed benefit from Estinian's presence. Yet I cannot help but wonder how Kryle and Tataru intend to locate him. They certainly seemed confident, however.
I do agree that getting Estinian back on board would be good, but I think we might actually want to talk to Hrace Valgar, or at least Vidofnir.
Frankly, everyone.
I talked to Mitty, but he's still taking a nap, and I really don't want to wake him. He did kind of save our butts. Alise, a little rest, and I'll take to the road again. Each of the nations will need guidance on how to use the Porxies. Don't worry, though. I won't do anything reckless, like a certain Exart we know. I just want to do what I can to ensure the cure will help as many as possible.
I'll say, not do anything reckless.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that one.
You're so cute when you're like that.
If he may? Same as before.
Yeah, it's looking like these guys haven't changed.
And we have been let go of MSQ. I think
For
it's...
another 3 months or so.
Well, we still got a lot to do. There are some minor side quests that we should follow at some point. There's still the Sorrows of Werlet, which we need to go attend to. And there is... Oh, Eden. Yeah, we need to catch up on Eden. Hey, Dave.
So, what's it take to get some service in this place?
Yeah, I know. These plates are just empty, aren't they? Moldy bread. My favorite. Wow, it's like suddenly they grow green. What the heck?
Eating rat.
I don't
Stop
know.
it! You put it in your mouth again. What's wrong with you?
Wow, that was like...
Look, the potions to cure pox only work in heaven on high. Well, we have more to do with, story and everything, but that's all going to be delayed as Thayrin goes to the hospital.
Wow. Penicillin-laced bread. Yummy.
Not my favorite.
No, it's not. Thank you all very much for coming along. Tomorrow we'll continue with the bun buns. It'll be a nice break since we've got to finish this and we can pick up something else. And then hopefully on Monday we can either start up Eden or go down the Sorrows of Werlet. My bet is we'll probably want to unlock Eden.
Oh, fine. Be that way.
Which will be a lot of dying. Lots and lots
Yes.
of dying. Because
Yes.
we'll be doing it cold.
Yes.
You guys have a great evening. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
Be safe.
With less death.
With less death, yes.
And a better stream.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what was going on there. Anyway, good night all.
Yes. Good night, everyone.